The fast food industry has been a cornerstone of American culture for decades, but as we enter 2025, several chains are showing signs of serious trouble. Today, we're going to explore 15 fast food chains that might disappear from the American landscape in the coming years, and the reasons behind their potential demise. Let's start with Subway, once the world's largest restaurant chain by number of locations. Despite its massive presence, Subway has been closing stores at an alarming rate. Since 2015, they've shuttered over 6,000 locations in the United States. The problems began with quality concerns, controversial ingredients, and the Jared Fogle scandal, but have evolved into deeper issues. Franchisees are increasingly dissatisfied with corporate policies, and younger consumers are gravitating toward fresher, more authentic options. Next up is Quiznos, which has already experienced a dramatic fall from grace. In the early 2000s, Quiznos had nearly 5,000 locations. Today, they're down to fewer than 200 stores nationwide. Their decline can be attributed to a combination of high franchise fees, expensive ingredients, and fierce competition from Subway during their peak years. The pandemic dealt another blow to their already struggling operations, and many analysts predict they might completely disappear within the next 5 years. Boston Market, once known as Boston Chicken, is another chain facing extinction. They've recently closed dozens of locations without notice, leaving employees and customers in the lurch. Their attempt to compete with both fast food and casual dining establishments has left them in a difficult middle ground. The rise of grocery store rotisserie chicken options and meal delivery services has eaten into their core business model. Friendly's, the ice cream and restaurant chain that once dotted the Northeast, has been struggling for years. They've already gone through bankruptcy twice, and their store count has plummeted from over 500 to less than 130 locations. The chain's dated concept and inability to attract younger customers has led to declining sales, while increasing food and labor costs have squeezed their margins even further. Del Taco, despite merging with Jack in the Box, continues to face challenges. The chain has struggled to maintain relevance in a market dominated by Taco Bell and authentic Mexican restaurants. Their attempts to modernize their menu and image haven't resonated with consumers, and their presence outside their core Western markets remains limited. Sbarro, once a mall food court staple, has been hit hard by declining mall traffic and changing consumer preferences. The chain has already gone through multiple bankruptcies, and with the continued decline of shopping malls and increased competition from local pizzerias and delivery services, their future looks increasingly uncertain. Jack in the Box, despite acquiring Del Taco, faces its own set of challenges. The chain has struggled with identity issues, trying to balance their quirky marketing with serious food quality concerns. Their expansion efforts have been met with mixed results, and they've faced increasing pressure from both premium burger chains and value-focused competitors. Krystal, the Southern Slider chain, has already filed for bankruptcy once and continues to close locations. Their limited geographic presence and inability to expand successfully beyond their core market has left them vulnerable to larger competitors and changing consumer preferences. Steak 'n Shake has seen better days. Once known for their premium burgers and hand-dipped milkshakes, they've struggled with service issues, declining quality, and an outdated business model. Their attempt to transition to a counter-service model has been met with mixed results, and they've closed hundreds of locations in recent years. Rogers, a chain with a nostalgic following in the Mid-Atlantic region, has been unable to recapture its former glory. Despite attempts to modernize and expand, they've struggled to attract new customers and compete with larger chains offering similar menu items. Fuddruckers, known for their build-your-own-burger concept, has seen their parent company go through bankruptcy and their store count dwindle significantly. The rise of fast casual burger chains with similar customization options has eaten into their market share, and their remaining locations are struggling to maintain profitability. Long John Silver's, one of the few remaining national seafood fast food chains, has been closing locations steadily. Their limited menu appeal, concerns about food quality, and higher operating costs due to seafood prices have put them in a difficult position. A&W Restaurants, despite their long history and loyal following, continues to struggle with relevance in today's market. Their root beer and classic American menu items aren't enough to attract younger consumers, and their rural locations often face tough competition from larger chains. Church's Chicken has been losing ground to both larger chicken chains and local competitors. Their attempts to modernize their menu and image haven't been enough to reverse declining sales, and they've closed numerous locations in recent years. Finally, Checkers and Rally's, despite operating under two brands, face significant challenges. Their drive-through focused model, once a competitive advantage, has become commonplace in the industry. They've struggled with consistency issues and have closed numerous locations in recent years. The potential disappearance of these chains reflects broader changes in the American fast food landscape. Rising labor costs, changing consumer preferences, and increased competition from both traditional and digital-first competitors are reshaping the industry. The pandemic accelerated many of these trends, forcing chains to adapt quickly or face extinction. Many of these chains are victims of what analysts call the middle market squeeze. They're not premium enough to compete with fast casual restaurants, but not cheap enough to compete with value-focused chains. This positioning has become increasingly untenable as consumers become more polarized in their dining choices. The rise of ghost kitchens and delivery-only concepts has also put pressure on traditional fast food chains. These new business models often have lower overhead costs and can adapt more quickly to changing consumer preferences. Traditional chains, with their large physical footprints and franchise agreements, find it harder to pivot. However, it's worth noting that some of these chains might survive in altered forms. They could be acquired by larger companies, transition to regional operations, or reinvent themselves for the digital age. The fast food industry has always been dynamic, and while these chains might disappear in their current form, their brands and concepts might live on in new ways. As we look to the future, it's clear that success in the fast food industry will require more than just serving quick, affordable meals. Chains will need to embrace technology, understand changing consumer preferences, and find ways to stand out in an increasingly crowded market. Those that can't adapt risk joining the growing list of once popular chains that have faded into history.